What's up, YouTube family? If you are trying to hire salespeople and you maybe are struggling with turnover, sales reps not performing, you've recruited someone that didn't work out, it's like always a hassle, right? It's always like kind of, making you frustrated. Give me a few minutes and I'm gonna show you how I hired 200 remote salespeople for me personally in my own companies over the last few years in this space. And I'm gonna show you, at least the way that I did it, 3 key things that you can do literally this next week. Change your system to how you bring salespeople and how you get them into your business so that they stick, so that they perform, and you don't have to have frustrations with your sales team anymore. Okay, so stick around. I'm gonna show you exactly how I did this. So, I started in this space back in 2013, hired my first 6 or 7 guys for my first high ticket fitness business. Did not work out well. Fast forward, 12 years or so, multiple 7-figure high ticket businesses, working a lot with salespeople, etc. But there's 3 core things that are important to nail down that I wanna go through. The first part is gonna be something called your frame, okay? Which is gonna be your sales organization, okay? And you think like, oh, I gotta bring in a closer, I gotta bring in a setter. I'm gonna show you like the better structure and in where I like to hire people to have this work for you better. So we're gonna go through that. Then the second thing is going to be how you actually recruit, because I guarantee it's gonna be different than the way that you're doing it now. And then the third thing is how I would onboard people. And also this onboarding process, it's 14 days to basically on-ramp new salespeople, and it gets them performing quickly, and it actually takes less time, not more time, and it's just a happy win-win for everybody, okay? So let's go through the first thing, which is like your frame and organization. Like sales organizations inside of your business typically need to have like some ascension, right, to it. Let's maybe do 1, 2, 3. Let's do 4 steps because that's what I'm gonna explain. So you might have a junior setter, senior setter, and then what I would call a hybrid closer, and then a senior closer, okay? That's typical structure. And oftentimes, a lot of companies, and I know because I see it everywhere, everyone's trying to hire here. Like a commission only, inbound calls, closer, right? The people you interview, like I'm a closer, I do the closing. Like I don't do the outbound stuff. I'm already past all that crap, right? They're like, I'm a closer, it's commission only. The problem though is because you know your business, your calls are probably somewhere in this realm of $100 to $500 a call. And so you go to a recruiting agency, they're like, oh, I've got an experienced closer, he's super good. You have one interview with him, and you put them on your calendar and you spend, 5, 10 grand in ads on this guy, and he only closes 1 dude, and he's like, dude, I just need more time. It's gonna work out. And guess what? It doesn't work out. So how do we fix this whole conundrum, okay? So you wanna have the right frame in place, but you wanna have the right ascension and how people can grow positionally in your organization. So a junior setter, they might have like a $10 an hour base if you're offshoring. A senior setter maybe has a $15 an hour base. And then maybe you need to be incentivizing, by the way, with setters, you need to incentivize on qualified showed calls. Don't give them a commission per booked call, because we all know there's a show rate issue in this space, and also a quality issue. And so you need to have your ICP defined clearly, your ideal client profile, and you wanna have a commission that's based on qualified shows. So maybe here, that's $10 per qualified show, and here they can get to $15 per qualified show. You can kind of see like if they go 3 months of hitting KPI, then they get to graduate to senior setter. I will say that this is kind of the wall usually. Not a lot of these people are gonna transfer over to the closing side because it is a separate skill type. This is very activity driven. This is much more skill driven. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I've totally seen it happen. It's just, you are gonna have a bit of a wall here. So that's where you're gonna want to hire at this level and let them graduate and hike to the next level. Now, with the closing side. This is why I thought this was important to tell you. Senior closers, this might be like 10 to 15% cash collected as the commission, because they're commission only. Totally get it. So what I like to do is a hybrid closer, and they get 15% cash collected because they will set their own appointments. So they are outbounding the leads, creating their own pipeline and booking their own inbound calls. So that's why they're hybrid. They're outbounding and closing. Okay, they're setting and closing. And this is better because it's less of a risk in terms of, like, you might have $15 leads, but $150 calls. Well, you can give him an old list of dormant leads and see if he or she can reactivate those bad boys, right? And so it's less of a financial risk, but it also gives them the reps, right? Because your outbound script is going to be a piece and parcel of your closing script, and they're getting to learn the prospect, the avatar. And so it gives them more at bats and like on the field experience, talking to live prospects and leads and getting more opportunities, and it's less financial risk, but it helps them ramp up faster. So that's why I like this. And then they can eventually go to a senior closer, and you know, they might stay the same or even come down to 10%, but because they were hybrid and half their time was outbounding, they're gonna double their time, right? So this is 15% at halftime, well 10% at full time is gonna be more money. So you still have to position and sell it correctly. Or you can even do, like, this is what Ormozy did at Gym Launch, 5K base plus like a, you know, somewhere in the whereabouts of 5 to 10% cash collected on top of the base. So it kind of removes the commission breath, and like people know they're gonna like pay their bills and they can perform really well. And then you just wanna make sure you're bonusing. So this is like this frame, this org structure. And then you're bonusing, you tie that bonus incentive to the next month. So instead of like, okay, so let's say the closer like, hey, you know, if you hit 100K, you get a 2K kicker, right? And it's like, yeah, I got 100 grand cash collected, so I get an extra 2K cash collected, or 2K bonus check. And then the next month starts, right? And they're back at 0. I want them to be hunting hard the next month too. So instead of doing that, it's like, hey, you got 10%. If you hit 100K in cash collected, next month you get to go to 12 to 13% on everything. So they are performing for next month, and if they hit it again, they get to keep it again. So it's always feeding the ongoing activity. So you wanna make sure you set up the frame and the org chart, and then it's important, like we like to hire here and here when working with companies and showing them the system. It's like hire junior setters, get them to graduate, hire hybrid closers, get them to graduate. Very, very simple. So hopefully that makes sense. So that is frame, the org. You guys still with me? Am I boring you to tears? Okay, the recruiting process. This is really important. So no more resumes, dear Lord. You need to go video application. Your salespeople are selling on Zoom. They're on camera. See how they communicate on camera. Like, I don't care what your resume, where you went to school and all that kind of crap. Give me a 2 to 3 minute curated, you can use video ask and whatnot, video application. So that way we can filter faster and invite to a group interview. Because then I get to see how they interact with other people. The really confident ones are kind of like encouraging and helping the other guys. You know, the ego narcissists are gonna pop up very easily. And then you can even ask like, hey, Joe, what did John just say to the last question I asked them? Like, are they active listeners? All that kind of good stuff. So you go group interview, because guess what? If people don't even come to the group interview, they just got filtered out, lame-os. But then also I can interview a big pool of talent faster. So I've got big pool video application down to a smaller pool group. And then I'm gonna select some one-on-ones and do a culture interview. Because I want to make sure they align with my mission and vision, right? Do they match our core values? Would I go have a beer, smoke a cigar with this guy, right? Like, would I enjoy hanging with this person? Do they fit our culture, right? Do they live our DNA? Because that matters more than if they're super skilled. Because, you know, if they're a super skilled jackass, but they're still a jackass, like, trust me, it's a cancer for the team. So you actually want a culture interview first. Then the last piece is a one-to-one skill interview. And this is where We'll bring 3 or 4 scenarios and we'll role play the scenarios with no prep at all. Because then we're actually testing and seeing where their skill level is at, right? Hey, here's the scenario. I'm gonna give you this type of money objection and we're gonna start. Go right into role play. How do they handle it, right? So that's how we actually recruit, is through this process. And hopefully that was helpful. Give me the like, smash the like, or comment if that was helpful. So that way I can have validation and sleep tonight. Because if I don't get validation from my YouTube followers, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Last piece is then how do we onboard? How do you get these guys ramped up in 14 days? Okay, that's the goal. So what we do is we do a learning management software where they self-onboard for 2 days, okay? So it's literally gonna be a course with, you know, our scripts, I can spell scripts, winning calls, right? How to use your CRM, you know, how to do the tech stack, like if your Calendly, Zoom, getting them integrated, your SLAs and your contracts, right? Product training, prospect training, all of that stuff, right? So they're gonna self-onboard and then they have to certify. So they have quizzes that they take on that learning management software that they have to test out on, so that way we know there's competency. So we got 2 days of that. Then we go 2 days of live onboarding. And this is where we test that competency live. We drill down on the script, we role play, we listen to other calls live so we can talk through it together in real time. We verify that the tech stack, that they've gotten logged in, that their round robin is set up on the calendar, like all that kind of stuff, so we verify. 2 days, so we're 4 days in. And then day 5 is a shadow day. So now they're gonna shadow the top closer and they're gonna have their camera off and they're gonna do a half day. You can do the same with the setters, put them with the top setter. They're gonna shadow, literally watch them do their entire day. So when they're gonna be on the Zoom call. When they get off, they stay on Zoom. The top closer shares the screen, shows them how he takes notes, how he dispositions, the email follow-up. It's a shadow. And then that top closer is giving feedback, right? Here's him, top closer. And he's giving feedback to new closer, right? And they're communicating. But then that top closer is giving me the feedback from this day, like, all right, he shadowed you. Did he ask good questions? Is he getting it? Like, was he paying attention? You know, like, what was the feedback of this new guy? So that's the first 5 days, your first week. And then the second week is they go live, halftime, with a daily recap with you or the sales manager. So every day you're reviewing if they're, taking notes correctly in the CRM, if they're following the script correctly, if they're like all the stuff did they confirm calls correctly, right? Were they speed to lead, all your KPIs like in processes, are they doing it? So it is cumbersome, but we're talking like 30, 45 minute touch point every day for the next 5 days. And then your 14 days is complete. So now you release the leash, they go, they rock it, or they don't, right? But this recruiting and interviewing process and onboarding process gives you the best bet of knowing if this guy is going, or this girl is going to work out. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Again, I need validation from you. Otherwise, I'm not gonna believe in myself. And also, if you wanna see the entire sales system, it's called the Sales Machine Flywheel, that we do with companies, where you have the exact total sales system that the right talent can plug into so that you can scale your sales department, but more so scale your profits, scale your revenue, scale your impact. There should be a link in the description or in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.